The first question, which will go to Matthew McQueen, what will be your first issue, your main issue priority if you're elected to the legislature? 2 minutes.
Main issue priority. In the legislature, it's interesting. All the legislators, come with a certain expertise. And I'm a lawyer and I have background in conservation. Once you get there, though, you're sort of a generalist, and you have to vote on everything. I absolutely think the number one thing we need to do for New Mexico is expand early childhood education, so it's available for every child in New Mexico, and we have the means to do that. That being said, that's not my bill. That's not a bill that I run. I think it's a priority. The second priority, also not my bill, is we need to raise the minimum wage. Our minimum wage nationally has fallen way behind, and we need to raise that so people can make a living, working a 40-hour week. The bills I'm working on are largely the bills I've worked on before. The Public Corruption Act, which would take pensions away from corrupt elected officials. Community solar. So a group of people can build a large-scale solar facility, not like one of those big wind or solar farms in the desert, but something on one of the like the La Tienda or the Agora, and share in that. We need legislation to make that happen. Game Commission reform. Wildlife has always been near and dear to my heart, and our Game Commission has been a horrible political mess because they're all governor appointees. So I have a whole list of bills that I work on, and then while you're at the legislature, you work on really everything else that comes up. And I would mention at this point that I'm chair of the House Energy and Natural Resources Committee, which is great. I'm also on the Judiciary Committee, which is really interesting because all the big bills go through Judiciary. Thank you.
Jarrett?
So if I become the first person in the history of New Mexico to have the privilege of serving in our legislature who does not belong to a party, a lot of what I'm going to be working on will depend on how the partisans treat somebody who is not a partisan. I would like to serve on the elections committee, but being nonpartisan, I get to represent everyone. I'm not attached to a party platform, and I don't have to care about the people who disagree with me. I agree actually with Matthew that our schools and economic development, we have an economy that's lagging. All the states around us are prospering. We aren't, and we need huge changes in the way both our schools operate and the way our state government delivers services. I am going to run a lot of bills around making our election system more open to more voices. I think we suffer from a lack of turnout, but more than that, I think we suffer from a lack of candidacies. And anything I can do to get more people to run, I'm going to be working on that. But it is, as Matthew says, I think I'm going to have stature, even though I'm not a partisan, and even though I won't caucus with a party, because I think both parties will want to work with me. So I'm going to be, like Matthew said, I'm going to be a freshman, and there'll be a limited number I won't have control over all the things I get to rule on.